Hello, today we're going to take a look at the solar thermal equipment from Festo Didactic. So let's take a look at some of the equipment provided with the solar thermal. First of all, we have an abundance of anti-leak hoses. Also, it comes with a temperature gauge with a magnet on. It also comes with some small tubing so that we can gauge pressure on the pressure gauges, and also a halogen light so that we can heat up the solar panel. Part of the solar thermal equipment is the solar thermal panel. This lets water run through the system and be heated up by the halogen lamps. Also, we're able to tilt it to get different angles to allow different temperatures of the heat. Let's take a look at some of the components of the solar thermal. First of all, we start up here. We have a pressure gauge. Coming down here, we have some valves for shutting off the flow. Next, we have a pressure relief valve. We also have another pressure relief valve, but this one is mainly for releasing the air. At the bottom here, we have a diaphragm. We also have another diaphragm on the other side. And at the very bottom, we have two pumps. Both of the pumps are controlled from one of the other sides. In the center, we have a flow monitor so that we can detect how fast the water is flowing. We also have a brazed heat exchange plate so that we can exchange temperatures of the water without the water actually coming in contact with each other. At the very top, we have some drain bowls. This allows us to fill the system up with water and also expel any air that's caught in the system. Further over here, we have a heat tile. This replicates your underfloor heating tiles that you might find in your kitchen or bathroom, and it also has a temperature scale on. Next, we have a digital temperature gauge. This provides a temperature reading to the other side. We also have an analog temperature gauge here with a readout on the dial, and then another analog temperature gauge over here, which has a readout again on the other side. At the very bottom, we have our drain pipes to allow us to drain the whole system. And of course, we have a spill sump to catch any excess water that we miss. We're going to take a look at how to remove and add the component to the solar thermal trainer. First of all, support the component, grab the blue knob and twist counterclockwise. Lift the component up slightly and remove. To apply the component, line up with the holes, insert, pull down, grab the blue knob again and turn clockwise. The component is now supported. Let's take a look at another side of the solar thermal. On this side, we have the radiator. The radiator uses hot water to heat up cold air, which is blown through with fans to come out the back. We can place the magnetic temperature gauge on the back to see the temperature of the air that comes out. Also on this side, we have an emergency stop in case the system needs to be stopped in an emergency. We also have circuit breakers so that we can totally isolate the circuit. We have a temperature control gauge. We have two override buttons for the pumps. We have a set of electrical connections here for all the different sensors. And then we have a thermostat controller so that we can control when the system kicks in, depending on the temperature. We also have a digital multimeter, which allows us to check the voltage of any of the sensors. And then lastly, we have a 3-pin plug. This allows us to plug the halogen lamp straight into the training equipment. Next, we're going to take a look at the water tank of the solar thermal. The water tank has several inputs and outputs on the side. At the very bottom, this is for draining the tank. At the very top, this is for filling the tank. The connections in the middle are for the circuit of the trainer. In the water tank, we have this copper tube in a spiral formation. This allows hot water to travel through the copper tube without coming in contact with the actual tank water, but allows it to still heat the tank water up. Also in the tank, we have a temperature sensor. This allows us to sense the temperature of the main body of water in the tank. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, please get in touch.